Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith. It is about 20 to 2, and to say that I am hyper would be an understatement. UFC 196 is in the books, and I have to tell you, it was absolutely fantastic. I've got a little bit of voice left, and you're getting it right now. I want to talk to you about two of the fights that people are going to be talking about for the next few weeks. Now, if you've watched enough UFC, you know that you always hear, oh, this is going to be the biggest match of all time. This is going to be the biggest fight of all time. The last time we heard that, and it actually made sense, was when Jose Aldo was defending his featherweight title against Conor McGregor. Jose Aldo undefeated for about 10 years, fighting the Irish superstar. And what happened? Just like that, Jose Aldo hit the canvas in 13 seconds. Now, Conor McGregor said that he wanted to fight for the lightweight championship, and he was supposed to fight Rafael dos Anjos. Dos Anjos backed out. Nate Diaz stepped in. The other big fight tonight that we're going to talk about, Holly Holm, the lady that knocked Ronda Rousey cold, left her laying unconscious in the middle of that Australian octagon, defending her title for the first time against Miesha Cupcake Tate. Now, there was something different about Miesha Tate tonight, and let's start with that fight. The last time she was fighting for a title, she ran out to the octagon, listening to Katy Perry songs, waving at everybody. Now, I don't have any problem with Katy Perry, but it was clear to me that Miesha Tate wasn't focused on the fight when she fought Ronda Rousey, and as a result, she lost. But tonight, there was something different. Yeah, she had Katy Perry's Roar playing in the background, but you could just see in her eyes that there was something different. Holly Holm, Miesha Tate came into this fight with a lot of mutual admiration for each other and a lot of mutual respect. And what a fight it was. Towards the end of the second round, it looked like Miesha Tate was going to finish, but Holly Holm survived. They went to the fifth round, a round where I felt that Miesha Tate absolutely needed to win. A fight that she needed to win, because if she hadn't won this fight, what would have happened with Miesha Tate's career? She couldn't just win a couple more fights and come back into the title picture again. Was she destined to be the Uriah Faber of the bantamweight division? No. She wanted this fight, she wanted this title, and she ended up taking out Holly Holm. Holly Holm did not tap out from the choke. She passed out, and as a result, your new women's bantamweight champion, Miesha Cupcake Tate. I am blown away, and I'm so happy for her. I have no problem with Holly Holm, but when you look at the journey that Miesha Tate's career has been on over the last few years and being able to realize this dream, how exciting is that? I cannot wait to hear the response from Ronda Rousey, who I'm sure was watching with with a lot of interest in regards to this fight. Because on the one hand, you've got Holly Holm, the lady that knocked her out, and then you've got Miesha Tate, a lady who she's beaten multiple times, who now holds her former title. I don't want to say her title because it's Miesha's title. Congratulations, Miesha Tate. What a fight. And let's talk about the main event. Conor McGregor was supposed to fight Rafael dos Anjos. He stepped out. Nate Diaz stepped in on very, very short notice, and what a fight it was. Now, we saw and we heard a lot of animosity between these two gentlemen, and they left it in the octagon. And in the end, it was Nate Diaz making Conor McGregor tap out. That's right. Red Panty Night is over. Conor McGregor has been beaten. He will most likely go back to 145 to defend his featherweight title. I want to take a moment and say I wasn't overly familiar with Nate Diaz before, I'm being honest. A ton of respect for the way that he fought this. Chad Mendes fought Conor McGregor last year, and it looked like Chad Mendes was on his way to winning that fight, except he blew his gas tank and he ran out of steam. But in that fight, we did see him take McGregor down, and we've always been questionable about how is McGregor's ground game. While going up against a jiu-jitsu specialist like Nate Diaz, we found out that perhaps his ground game isn't as good as it should be, and he ended up tapping out. So, Nate Diaz, what does this do for his career? Does this propel him to a 170 title fight? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Couple of things. Did you notice when the UFC was having their press conference, going over everything, conspicuously absent was Robbie Lawler, welterweight champion? I think that they probably were hoping McGregor would have won this fight, and then they could have had McGregor against Robbie Lawler for the title. No way that's going to happen now. Frankie Edgar, start training. Jose Aldo, start training. Because I have a feeling at UFC 200, if he's fit, McGregor's going to be taking on one of you guys. I have to say, listen, as far as Conor McGregor is concerned, here's a guy who chirps a lot, who says a lot, but you have to understand, and being a guy who's not only a fan of the UFC, but also a fan of the WWE, I understand when people are trying to sell fights and market fights. I see this guy signing a lot of autographs. I see this guy having great interaction with his fans. And I think Conor McGregor was extremely humble in defeat. And I also think that Nate Diaz, as much as he's a trash talker, was very classy in victory. And it was nice to see that. I don't necessarily know if we're going to see that next month when Jones and Cormier fight, but it was nice to see it tonight. This was a fight where the winner of the night was truly any fan that laid down money to see this. And I'm glad that I was part of that group. These two fights were fantastic. They were both upsets. Nobody, I shouldn't say nobody, but not a lot of people were picking Miesha Tate. I don't think anybody was really picking Diaz. But I'm happy to say that they shocked the world. Because tonight, Miesha Tate is your new women bantamweight champion. And Conor McGregor, for the first time, has tasted defeat in the UFC. The whole landscape has changed. I'm sure Dana White and Lorenzo are going to come up with something pretty quick, but the landscape has changed. The road to UFC 200 is on, and I can't wait to see what happens. I congratulate all 4 of those fighters and the many other fighters that participated on this card. As a fan, I thank you. This was well worth it. What a great night of fights. I hope you guys had a chance to see it. If you did, let me know what you think. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier and WittyWhittier.com. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. You're wondering why am I yelling at you? It's because I'm hyper. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith. Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll talk to you soon.